Hey,
Hi, how are you?
good, good. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you settling down under?
It's been really great, honestly. It's been a pretty easy transition. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice, nice.
See,
So, Malia, welcome to the pod. Thank you for taking the time to have a chat so we can get to know you a little bit more. So, like any other episode, it's going to start with what started your love affair with football.
I've been in a grew up in a football family. My mom's three siblings. She's one of four, and all three of her siblings played soccer and sorry football in the college system in the States. So she was the only one who didn't, but I think I got that soccer gene from the rest of them. And I've been around the game for so long. I had the opportunity to go to the 2012 Olympics and watch the final US versus I think it was Japan. I don't really remember. I was only 8 years old when I went, and I mainly just remember watching the US. I got to touch the Hope Solo's gold medal afterwards, and it was just such like an amazing experience to be around great football like that and to see it from such a young age. And it's just kind of always been part of my life, always been part of who I am.
Nice, very nice experience. So, I actually saw, I think a photo of you playing basketball before.
I played basketball also since I was young. Soccer was my first sport.
Mm.
I started playing probably when I was 5, and then basketball probably 6 or 7. And then both my parents were track athletes, so I also started that when I was probably 8 or 9. But so I played all three sports growing up. That was really important for me and for my parents for me to be involved in more than one sport, just to see what I liked, but also just to develop so many different skills, so many different like everything's different. You get to develop different skills from those different sports off of the playing field as well.
Right. So when did you know that it was soccer that you wanted to focus on?
It actually wasn't until after COVID hit, after COVID, which was fairly recently. I was ready my sophomore year of high school. So when I was year 10, I was ready. I was ready to be done playing all sport. And when COVID happened, I was kind of like, oh, this is perfect timing. I wasn't going to be playing anyways, so I'm not really missing out on anything. But as the months went by, I was like, no, I do miss it. Like it's part of who I am. I want to get back out there. And in a way, COVID for me was a blessing in disguise because it let me choose to play again. And I was playing just because I wanted to every time I went out and got touches on the ball. I was doing it because I enjoyed it. And that's just been such a big part of it from now on for me is making sure that I'm always enjoying it because it's if you don't have that passion for it, then it's kind of like why are you playing?
Of course, of course. So I first saw your name during the qualifiers. How did you join the national team? Did you attend the tryouts or were you scouted?
I was not scouted. The tryouts for the qualifiers 2021, and I was at that point just I was going into my senior year of high school. I was trying to figure out what my future with football looked like, and at that point I was planning on going to college right after. and and I was thinking, well, maybe after college the national team is an opportunity. um so I just looked up what was going on with the national team at that time, and this was like July 29th, and I found on the PFF website tryouts in Orange County, California, August 2021. I was like, that's next week, I have to go. I live in Portland, Oregon with my family, but all my extended family on both sides lives in Orange County. Like it's too good of an opportunity to pass up. So I flew down later that week, and my mom likes to tell it. She flew down, she put me on a plane. I was only 17, put me on a plane to fly down and stay with my aunt, and I didn't come home for 6 weeks.
Wow.
So
Okay. So it's very timely, huh?
yeah, yeah. So
All
it
right.
definitely felt like a bit of a world experience.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like it. Was the decision to play for the team entirely yours, or were you heavily influenced by your father, who was also a national athlete?
It was entirely mine. Like, growing up, all my siblings and I, we've always known that, competing for the Philippines was an opportunity, that was a possibility if we wanted it, because he competed in SEA Games. SEA Games was the main competition. It's like, if you want to do something internationally, you could go compete in the SEA Games if you work hard enough. And I just always thought, to compete for the Philippines, it would have to be in track and field. I didn't, growing up, I didn't hear much, anything really at all about the Philippines football team. Just wasn't, especially over in the States, it wasn't big. So when I found out about it, I was like, I want to go do this. And my dad was in Tokyo at the Tokyo Olympics, so he wasn't even home then, and he was kind of just like, hey, Dad, I'm going to go do this.
And here you are. Is your brother also into track and field? Because I see that a lot from. I'm not sure what's your brother. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, my brother, so he's 2 years younger than I am. He's a big runner, middle distance runner, and then my sister actually just trialed at the youth trials this past weekend in California. But she's still young enough. She hasn't picked between football or track yet. So
Okay. Good luck. How was your experience joining the camps in California, considering, you were one of the younger players in the team?
I was so nervous going into especially the first trials. I had no clue what to expect at all. I had no experience like that. But the girls were great. They honestly, when my aunts, after the trials ended and they told me that I had been selected to, join the pool for the qualifiers, I moved into an Airbnb house with the team, and my aunt she was also nervous. She was like, I'm leaving you in a house full of strangers, not even 18 yet. Your mom's gonna kill me. And it was only like 25 minutes away from their house driving, but still, it was a big change when a week prior I was still living at home and had no clue what was about to happen. But they were all amazing. They're like my aunties. They took me under their wing and they let me figure things out for myself, but I never felt alone. Um, they're just such like an encouraging group. I haven't felt that connection with any other group of people that I've ever come across in my life. So it was really an amazing experience for me to be able to enjoy their presence so much on and off the field, and really feel like immediately I was part of the family, part of the group.
Nice. Were you closer to Camrod initially? And 'cause I saw like a two photos of you in Uzbekistan and the ones
Mhm.
during camps. Right.
Yeah, yeah, because there were only a few of us in the States for that first camp that I was a part of, and Cameron was one of them. Tara, Haley, and Ina, they were all part of the group, and they were part of the group at the trials as well. So, and at the trials, I was very quiet. I'm normally very quiet, very timid until I get more comfortable. So they kind of helped me feel comfortable, helped me, showed me the ropes and everything. I think she was probably the first from the team to talk to me. So that was always have a special bond with her. I think we ended up wearing like matching cleats for a little bit on that camp. So that was really special for me.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. So, Malia, you recently graduated from high school, and then now you're in Australia, and you're going to be playing football with Blacktown City, right? Are you focusing on making it to the World Cup squad by, playing now semi-professionally and then pursuing college later this year or next year? Could you could you talk to us what your plan is?
Yeah. So my goal, everything that I've been working towards for this past year has been to make the World Cup squad. I decided that after high school I would take a gap year, and this World Cup national team would be my priority. Because I can go to school later. This is the timing for this has been really, really great for me personally. Spend my time, devote my time to this. So that's why, yeah, so I'm out here just to be able to have consistent training, and also just, climatize to Australia, be down here. Yeah, and then after the World Cup, I plan to go to college. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I was curious about your, and they talk about it like your NCAA eligibility. Is that
Yeah, there's so many rules in the US around that, but because the plan has always been for me to go to college after
hmm,
and play college football, my parents and I, we spoke to compliance directors at a few different schools, just to make sure that everything I'm doing will doesn't affect my eligibility.
okay? Cool. That's really good to know. Because a lot of the philams in some of the football groups are like concerned about that. I think it's the same for yourself and Carly, I think. So actually I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask Carly that
it was
same question later. I've mentioned when I reached out to you a few weeks ago that you played very differently, at least in my eyes, okay? You were playing with more confidence versus Costa Rica and Chile. So what brought about those changes in your game and in the way you play?
So I started around that time. I was living in Southern California. I started working with a trainer at a gym there that really just helped me unlock like different types of training, that unlock different aspects of physicality that I hadn't worked on before. So I think a combination of that and confidence, leading into it, and a little bit change of mindset that, I was just gonna, whatever opportunity I was given to get minutes in on the field, I was gonna make the best of it. And that definitely, but also the second Chile game was just so much more intense for everybody, um, with Sada's red card, and we played a very poor first half. And I think it all just kind of, some switch inside all of us just flipped for all of us at the same time, and we're like, we felt that passion for defending the flag, playing for the flag, and just playing for each other as well. We wanted to play for Sarah. Um, we all disagree with that call, but so we all just wanted it so much more in that moment, and you could really feel it. You could see the intensity of it and the depth that we all felt it when you just looked at each other. We looked at each other. We knew what we needed to do, and I think some of that strength just came from my teammates as well, just being on that field with them and sharing that experience with them.
Yeah, that was some intense game. I think not just you, but the other players as well just brought out something in them.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you mentioned about your new training. Are you currently working on something to improve your game in preparation for the upcoming camps and of course possibly the World Cup?
Yeah, so I'm obviously not going to be the biggest player out on the field. Um, I'm going to, so I have to close that gap as much as I possibly can. So physicality, strength is something that I know I need to work on and, need to improve. And, all the aspects of my game can improve. I need to improve just to continue competing with the girls in the squad and to compete in the World Cup. So, just working on crossing so that 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, nothing's ever going to be 100%, but 9 out of 10, everything is spot on. So when that moment comes in the game, Coach Allen always has reiterated this so much, like, you're not going to get 20 opportunities in a game to make that cross. So when you get those 2 or 3 in the game, you have to make it count. Working on crossing, working on speed defending, strength, physicality. Yeah.
What would you say is your strength as a player?
The player. I've always thought that it was tactically my vision on the field. I think I really enjoy part of why I really enjoy the game is the patterns, is the bigger picture. I've never been one who like really like, I'll choose like, sorry, not the technical aspect of it. It's the tactical that like really gets my football brain like going, and I love that part of it. So I think like my vision in passing.
Gotcha. And could you share what aspects of your training with the national team has really helped you improve or progress as an individual and a team player?
See, as an individual, I think the coaches have given me so much more confidence. They expect so much from all of us that it makes you play at a higher level, and it made me realize that I am capable of doing that. So like individually, it's given me confidence. You know, okay, I don't have to pass the ball off right away. I can keep it at my feet if I want to, and you know, change my mind. That is one thing that is really big that they've helped me do, is that if I make a decision, I am capable that I can change my mind and do something else with it, and I don't have to panic about that. And as a team player, I think they've just reiterated how important it is that we're all on the same page. Like in some of my club teams and everything, you know, you're not together all the time. It's not uncommon for people to be off of the same page, and to not be, you know, completely tuned in with each other. But on a national team, you're together all the time. Everybody's got to know everything, and it's just at a much higher level, much higher pace that everybody has to be keyed in. So it's helped me to, one, realize when I'm not and when I need to ask for help, and like reach out to someone and say like, hey, I'm struggling here. Can you help me with this? And it's also helped me to be able to like get to know my teammates better and know like what they need, what I can help with them, and how I can impact them off the field as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So now they haven't released the roster yet. So so I know that you're, not in the liberty to say that you're going to be a part of it. But let's just assume you are. What's your mentality like going into this next tournament, the Pinatar Cup? Because you're going to play against really strong European teams are ranked way way higher than us. So what's going on in your head?
I'm mostly just excited, like excited for a challenge. We've played, you know, obviously we've played a few European squads, back in June, um, and then also New Zealand's not European, but they have a very similar playing style. So and we've shown well. So I think most of us are just really, really gunning to win. We don't want to. It's the first time, you know, we've played in like a tournament like this, and we don't want to just go in and be like, you know, we're just happy to be here, because we're never just happy to be here. Um, so in terms of like mentality, just we're ready to go out there and show who the Filipinas are. And we've had, you know, some really close matches. It's Ireland and New Zealand, and we don't want to walk away with more like, oh, we were so close. Like we've shown we can compete with them, but we want to show that we're capable of beating them as well.
Yep, for sure, for sure. But last night, Scotland released their roster for the Pinatar Cup, and within the next few days, of course, Wales and Iceland. Is there any player that you're looking forward to play against, and what do you think are our chances?
Um, Specific players, um, not off the top of my head right now. I think just especially because there will be similar playing styles to the teams that we're gonna play in the World Cup. Um, that's what I'm kind not mainly focused on, sort of just being able to expose ourselves to that type of playing style. But I think I think we have good chances. We had good results against teams that they've played. So I think, you know, we're up, we're going to be able to hang in there with them. And as long as we do everything right, as long as our heads are in the right place, I think we have good chances.
we know we'll we know now who will be up against in the World Cup. What are your thoughts? How confident are you that we can make it in the knockouts?
Um, very confident. I don't think we can go in there not being confident and then expect to make it out. We have to have that confidence. We have to have that belief that um, we've worked as hard as we can. We've done everything that we could. And then we go out there, we leave it all out in the field. And then, our actions will have to speak for themselves. Everything we say out here is just talk. But we're really excited. I'm really excited with the draw. It was really cool. We all watched a big chunk of us watched the draw together. We were all super excited. And it was a bit because I have some like family friends living in Australia, so they were disappointed that it was going to be in New Zealand and not Australia. But New Zealand's going to be an amazing place to play in as well. And it's also amazing that we get to play one of the host countries because the crowd in that environment will just be next level. So that will just be an amazing experience to have.
Yeah, I'm excited for you girls. I'm almost ready. I booked one ticket out of many, so yeah. Okay, so let's go to the social media questions. So from RD Rivera Pedro. Was right back always been your preferred playing position?
I think right back has always, or outside back has always been where I thought I would end up playing. I through high school I played every single position on the field in my time there. So, but I've always thought that right back because of how much I do enjoy defense, but I also love getting up on the attack, and right back gives me the freedom to do both. That always has been my favorite. Yeah.
And he wants to know if you're confident playing as a right back or outside back.
Yeah, I am confident playing there. And honestly, because of the amount of confidence the coaches have given me, if they want to try me out anywhere else, then I'll be like, if you believe in me, I believe in me.
Cool. And his last question is, what is your favorite Filipino food?
My dad's sisig. I
Ooh,
love that he cooks. Yeah,
he makes it himself?
he does. Yes.
Ooh. All right. Okay, Mr. Bo. Nice. That's nice. Okay. From Andrew Aquino, he wants to know who is the player that you look up to?
Um, One of the players from the beginning that I've always looked up to is Ina Palacios. She just to me represents somebody who plays. She plays for the flag. She plays for the country. She plays to represent people in the Philippines, and she's dedicated so much time, so much for her life, so much passion and heart to it. Um, that, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be that role model for girls like me when I'm older. And she's been somebody who throughout this whole journey has always kind of constantly embedded in me and always been that rock of reminding me and everyone else why we're playing and who we're playing for. And I have a tattoo, Rabain. It's Puso, and that's partially tattoo is big because she was big on reminding me like play with heart, with heart for the country, and the tattoo is mainly from things that she's like reminders from things that she's told me.
Nice. Thank you so much for saying that. Andrew Aquino's next question is, do you like karaoke? If yes, what's your go-to karaoke song?
I do like karaoke. On our last camp, I brought karaoke microphones to camp. We had a few birthdays during that camp, fun, and I have one with me here in Australia that I'll be bringing to all the camps. Of course, I love karaoke. I don't have a go-to karaoke song, but my go-to karaoke partner is Carly Frillis. I love singing with her.
Nice. I was gonna ask for a sample, but we'll let that go. Question from Sarah Ariasep. Uh, don't know if it's the same answer as earlier. Who do you look up to among seniors in Filipinas?
I mean, Ina's not the only one. Um, I think it's for me because it was such a influential time. My first camp, it was such like a massive, like everything was the first one for me for that the qualifiers. All of those players that were there really shaped my experience, and because of that, I'll always look up to them for that. Um, and so many of them for so many different reasons, like Camrod, being a friend to the player on the team, just stuff like that. Like they always, Ina, Haley, Cam, Tara, the dedication that they've shown and that commitment to the team is just, I think, is next level. And not only that, I want to be like them off the field as well. The way that they care for their teammates, care for their family members, and everything like that.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. Um, from Kim Delavin. How do you maintain your composure when facing well-built forwards as a defender?
It definitely when you're just looking at them on the other side of the other side of the field, um, being so small, it could feel really intimidating. But I've always had that. I've always been the smaller player growing up, so it's kind of just something that I'm used to. Honestly, is I've always expected to be smaller and always expected to have to. It's not going to be true at the international level, but when I was younger, if I was smaller than them, odds were I was going to be faster than them. So just kind of reminding myself that I have skills that they probably don't, or something like that, and I'll just have to um be like. And part of having that composure comes from knowing my teammates that are behind me have my back. They're always talking to me. They're always like giving me instructions or encouraging me. So like I know that if I need them, they're there.
Nice. And I think you've answered Ian Sevilia's question. So let's proceed with Sam Galli's. Sam wants to know your eye color.
It's a light brown.
Light brown. Okay. Yeah. When I saw this question, I was zooming in on your photos. I'm like, is brown or so it's light brown. Okay. And from Francis Araneta, um yep, I think we've answered this question as well. Do you plan to play college football or soccer? Or do you plan to go straight to the pros? I think this is Francis as well. How important is playing for the Philippines for you?
It's such an honor. For me, one of my most memorable experiences was that first match against Cambodia at SEA Games. And that walkout, that national anthem was so special to me because it was something that my dad also did many years before. To be able to have this national connection with him on another level is means a lot to me. So in that sense, that's just another reason why it's very special for me. But I and playing in the Philippines at AFF, I saw so many young girls and even so many young boys where I'm like, I see myself in them. I see um, a young kid who loves soccer when I was younger, but I didn't have a Philippines national team that was like on the map at all. So to be able to be part of this history and to be able to be something that hopefully future generations will hear about or will grow up with, it's really um, heartwarming to know that that's something that I'm part of and get to help inspire future generations.
Gotcha. And his last question is being bicultural, what are your favorite things about growing up with both cultures?
Being bicultural is such like a unique experience, and it has positive and negative things about it. And I think one of the awesome things about it is the diversity that you experience in your own household, in your own home. different traditions from both families, and you get to kind of sort of you mix them, create your own traditions for within your family that then you get to pass on. And in my family, biracial, but the same religion in the household. So many of our like traditions revolve around, Christmas, Easter. So it's like special things like that we still get to share.
Okay, and Bolibs wants to know who is your favorite soccer player and which soccer player do you try to model your game from?
My favorite soccer player ever since I was young has been Mia Hamm. Um, I read her book Go for the Goal when I was young, and I loved her. She's opposite end of the field for me, but she her attitude is not me before we. She's arguably the best player on the field whenever she was on it, and she wouldn't take any credit for it. She was team first. She was a great captain and inspiring leader, and those are some aspects that I really, really wish or want to have as part of who I am. But on the field, also since I was young, I grew up in Portland where there's the Portland Thorns, and I would get to go to their games. And at that time, Megan Klingenberg was also on the U.S. National team, and part of the reason I was drawn to her, she was an outside back, and I would always just be like, she's not very tall. And so that's like me. And if she's that good, she's playing at that level, I can do that too. And she's just, she's such a tenacious player, and on the attack and defense. And that's what I want to play with. That's how I want to play.
Nice, yeah, and I like her team talks before kickoff that they always feature with the Thorns. So yeah. So I
Yes.
actually like this next question, Malia from Willie Bayola. So Willie says, Malia, from the friendly against Costa Rica, you have said this, you appear to play with such confidence and fight to never back down, even facing the opponent's best players. You also appear to have no fear in advancing the ball when given the chance to help the offensive attack. What do you attribute that mindset from coaching, from your inherent innate ability and fighting spirit?
Definitely both. I don't think you can totally do it with just one of them because um, growing up, especially I've seen that with growing up, the coach on the sideline is so important. They play such a big role in the player's confidence. And I've all of us on this, in my position, but in all the positions, we've been given the go ahead to carry the ball, attack, get in on the attack. So we have the do that carries over to confidence in ourselves. And I think for me, the Costa Rica and Chile camps I just had, with the opportunities that I was given to get on the field and to play, my confidence just grew from those two camps. Um, and that definitely impacted my inside, kind of how it appeared on the field. Um, the and I talked about that a little bit before with the last Chile game, how there was just a fight that came out from inside of us that we hadn't really seen before. Um, but I think the inherent inside all of us it's always been there, especially for me, it just takes sometimes a little bit of encouragement from the coach, pull it out.
Gotcha. Thank you. And this last question is actually from one of the Filipinas U18 players, Kylie Yap. So she says she's curious on how you completed your high school while away so much playing for the national team. Was it remote study, homeschool, and her follow-up question about you playing college soccer and maintaining your NCAA eligibility while playing Australia. So I guess just answer the part how you completed high school while being away so much.
Well, Kylie, I love her number, by the way. I think she wears a great number. She also wears number 2. So I I started when I first went out to try out for the qualifiers, was right before the beginning of my senior year of high school. And my high school has a rule where if you're gone, if you're absent for 10 consecutive days, you get unenrolled from school. So when we had that camp, that like 2-month long camp in almost 2 months in Irvine in November and December for a time period there, I would fly back home to Portland, go to school for 2 days, then come back down to camp for the rest of the week. So that was completing my senior year of high school. But then we had some like COVID outbreaks, and it's like, traveling is not worth that anymore. So I did end up getting unenrolled from school, especially when we went to India. I obviously couldn't make that trek back and forth. So when I got back from India, I was, I have to be available for the next camps, which was going to be a very long one in Australia and then SEA Games. And I had enough credits from all the classes I took previously to only need one more semester of my English class that I completed online and graduated early.
Oh wow. Wow. Now I'm just trying to picture how you would do that. Okay. It's just crazy. Yeah, so thank you for answering that. So now that's all the questions from social media. So we'll now go to the rapid fire question. So I don't want you to think, Aliyah, just the first thing that comes to mind, just give an answer or choose an answer as quickly as you can. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you ready?
I think
So okay. One thing you have to have with you when you travel with the team.
my blankets, my baby blankets that I have had ever since I was young. I bring them everywhere.
Something you've always wanted to try but are afraid to do.
Skydiving.
Ooh. Back three or back four?
Back 4.
A perfectly timed slide tackle or intercepting a pass that's about to break the lines.
Intercepting a pass.
When beating pressure, would you rather dribble on your own or progress up the pitch with a perfect touch pass together with a teammate?
The progressing with the teammate.
Scoring one yourself or assisting a goal?
Assisting.
Scoring a volley or a header?
Never scored a header, so I have volley.
Okay. Being in the starting 11 in a mediocre game where you either lose or draw, or coming from the bench to get the win.
Coming from the bench to get the win.
Gotcha. And my last question, do you like coffee, or if you don't drink coffee, what's your preferred beverage?
I do like coffee, but my absolute favorite drink is Milo.
My Milo. Nice. Okay, and Malia, lastly, your message to the Filipino football community.
Just thank you so much for all the support. It's recently been a year since we qualified for the World Cup, and so much of that driving force has been the Filipino community, Filipino football community specifically, and all that support has made it feel like so much more special. And I think back a year ago, everyone immediately after the game was just like, "Oh, how do you feel?" And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm feeling right now, but it didn't really hit me the gravity of what we've done until I was getting messages from Filipino football community, like saying thank you, or like just expressing their feelings. And it was just kind of like, that was the moment for me where I was just like, wow, that what I'm a part of right now is so much bigger than me, and so much bigger than just qualifying for the World Cup. So the football community plays such an important role, and I think it's bigger than what they and you guys are even aware of. And it means so much to all of us, and we're so grateful for all your support and your continued support, and we hope to make you guys proud. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Are you training today?
Yeah, I got to Australia on the 7th. We started on the 9th. So we've been going out for a few weeks now.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. I'm excited for you.
Thank
Especially
you.
with this newfound confidence that you have. So,
Thank you.
thank you. You have a good day, Malia. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.